Hello everyone, this is Alex with Anchor Collectibles, and we are doing another Commander Spotlight. We are done with our mono and dual color commanders, so we are starting our triple color commanders with our commander in this deck box that my husband got me. Little Trash Panda. And the commander of this deck is a Mardu commander, a gnome. I play D&D, and gnomes are my favorite race. It is Jan Jansen, Chaos Crafter. He cost Mardu, so red, white, black, for a legendary creature gnome artificer with haste, and you can tap him to sacrifice an artifact creature to make 2 treasure tokens, or sacrifice a non-creature artifact to make 2 1/1 colors construct artifact creature tokens, and he's in a 3/3. So this deck is all about artifacts, tokens. So this deck, the way to win with this deck is by making a lot of artifacts, getting benefits from the artifacts, whether it be entering or sacrificing them. So we need to make tokens with lots of artifacts. We have a good token base and ways to make tokens. Got Loyal Apprentice, Academy Manufactured. Whenever you make a clue, food, or treasure, instead you make 1 of each, which really goes well with Jan Jansen. Dig Site Engineer, Threefold Thunderhulk, Mecha Godzilla. So this makes the tokens when it dies. Oni Cult Anvil. Whenever 1 or more artifacts you control leave the battlefield during your turn, you make a 1/1 colorless construct. So whenever you use Jan Jansen's ability, you get a construct back. And it's also a sacrifice outlet, which is one of the other ways that this deck can actually hurt your opponent. This deals 1 damage to your opponent when you sacrifice an artifact with this. Hidden Stockpile, another sack outlet, and then if something leaves the battlefield, you get a servo, which is another artifact. Works well with Jan Jansen. With all those artifacts dying, Marionette Master, whenever an artifact you control is put into the graveyard, it deals target opponent loses life equal to Marionette Master's power. If this enters with the 3/1/1 counters, it'll be a 4/5. So each time an artifact dies, it's going to ping someone for 4. We got Ingenious Artillerist. When an artifact enters, it deals that much damage to each opponent. So Jan Jansen, Academy Manufacturer, make 2 treasure tokens. Instead, you'll make 6 total tokens, and they're all artifacts. So you're going to ping everyone for 6. We do have recursion when we're going to be sacrificing our things. Felled in the Third Path, Scrap Trawler, Sanctum Gargoyle, Goblin Welder, Mirror Retriever, Workshop Assistant, Daring Archaeologist, Wait the Past, Gerard's Hourglass, Pia's Revolution. This gives an option. The opponent can either take the damage or bring back that artifact to your hand. With all this recursion, we do have some board wipes, because if our stuff gets destroyed, we can recur it. We've got Divine Reckoning. Each player, so you choose a creature and then destroy the rest, and it has flashback. It's your command. You choose 2. Chain Reaction. Organic Extinction. It destroys all non-artifact creatures. So we have a lot of artifacts. And then we go to our target removal. Vindicate, Crackling Doom, Path to Exile, Source to Plowshare, Argent Deus, Swift Reconfiguration. So this one I like in here because it can also be used to protect. So if your commander's on the battlefield and someone casts a board wipe that, like our board wipe, that targets only non-artifact creatures, you flash this in, turning Jan Jansen into a vehicle artifact so it doesn't die. Arcbound Javelier, you remove counters to deal damage to a target attacking or blocking creature, which goes into the second, theme of the deck, which is 1/1 counters and modular. Got Sabas, a bunch of Arcbound creatures that can move 1/1 counters once they die, which you sack to Jan Jansen and then recur them. And then Seal Overseer will put a 1/1 counter on each artifact creature you control. After this, we're going to go into our ways to protect our board. This gives Ward 2 to all our artifacts. Shimmer Mirror, we don't have to cast things on our turn if it has flash. Your interlude can save your board state, well, at least your creatures, from board wipes. Flawless Maneuver can also protect your entire board state because your creatures gain indestructible. Swiftfoot Boots and Lightning Greaves are in here because they'll protect our commander. Barb Servitor, this is our card draw. We don't have a lot of card draw in here. With Academy Manufacturer on the battlefield and with clue tokens, you can get more card draw, but this is in here. It is indestructible, 1, and if it's dealt damage, it also pings your opponent. And then when this deals damage, you draw a card. Low Shield prevents all combat damage that would be dealt to attacking artifact creatures, and whenever one or more creatures enter the battlefield, or artifact creatures, you draw a card, but it's only once per turn. Then Bolas' Citadel. Remember, it allows you to play the top card of your library, lands or spells, and if you cast a spell, you pay life instead of paying its mana cost. You can look at the top card of your library, and you tap to sacrifice 10 non-land permanents. Each opponent loses 10 life. So if you have a bunch of tokens, you can use that to trigger Bolas' Citadel. So we don't have a lot of card draw. However, we do have ways to tutor out the things that we need. Oswald Fiddlebender, Transmutation Font, which is another token generator, and Sunforger. Sunforger is in here because we can use it to find our spells that will either do removal or protect our board. Our untap, because we are going to have artifacts that we tap. So we have Voltaic Servant, Staff of Domination, and Unwinding Clock. We do have some one-offs in here. Teleportation Circle, if that's on the battlefield, it can blink any of our artifacts that we tap, allowing us to use them again, or our commander, Jan Jansen. Vexing Bauble prevents free spells, card draw, and it's a cheap artifact you can cast from the graveyard. Sculpting Steel, it copies any artifact on the battlefield, yours or your opponent's. Chief of the Foundry pumps all our creatures that are artifacts. We go into our ramp because we need a lot of mana to activate some of the abilities. Karn gives you mana for each artifact you control, but it can't be spent to cast non-artifact spells. Joyra lowers your cost. So does Family Inspector. Palladium Mirror, tap for mana. Karn creates Power Stones. And the bottom one, you get an emblem, tap an untapped artifact you control, and it deals 1 damage to any target. So with this and a Unwinding Clock, that's a lot of damage. Mana Vault, Liquid Metal Torque, and Revel in Riches. This is also one of our win conditions. If we have 10 or more treasures, you win the game. Grinding Stone is another one that will help to mill our opponents. We go into our land base. So the reason I like this, Tower of Magistrate, target creature gains protection from artifacts until end of turn. So, Liquid Metal Torque, tap, target non-land permanent becomes an artifact in addition to its other types until end of turn. And for 1 mana, target creature gains protection from artifacts until end of turn. So if you have a blocker, you tap, make the creature an artifact that's attacking you, and then you tap your Tower of Magistrate to make your blocker gain protection from artifacts. So it gives it sort of, it can't be destroyed by the artifact. That's why that's in here. And Urza's Saga is in here because this is an artifact deck. It searches an artifact at the end, it makes an artifact, and it also ramps. And the last land that I want to talk about is Treasure Vault. It's mana, obviously. And also the last one is you sacrifice it, create X treasure token. So you can tap all your mana, put it into the land to get a bunch of treasure tokens. So the way to win this deck is you can either swing out with all your 1/1 countered, what are they called? Modular, there you go, your modular creatures. Or you can go the other route with Marionette, Master, and Ingenious Artillerist. So you'll have these on the battlefield, and then anytime you sacrifice an artifact to Jan Jansen or any of our sack outlets, you can bring it back with Mirror Retriever. So I don't think it's an infinite combo, but if you sacrifice this, it's in the graveyard, right? And then you sacrifice Mirror Retriever, when it dies, you bring this back to your hand. and then you can cast it again. You have a few triggers in here to drain your opponents. Either that, or you can mill, because every time an artifact enters, this untaps. So artifact enters, you can sack one of them. It's Jan Jansen. Make 2 more tokens. Each of those are going to trigger this. And before the trigger resolves, you can tap to sack to mill. Do it over and over again. There's a lot of recursion. There's a lot of ways to win. But the way that I've won is overrunning the board, swinging it out at the opponents. And I don't think I've won with Revel of Riches. And the pinging was one of the ways as well. Can't forget my favorite thing to do in Magic, stealing people's things. So I added a Chaos Wand. 4 mana, tap it, exile the top of their library, opponent's library, until they exile an instant or sorcery card, and you can cast it for free. And the rest of them go on the bottom of the library in a random order. So of course, got to add some theft. What do you think of my Jan Jansen deck? Is it viable? Is it a good deck? Or is it just a trash deck? Link in the description to our other Commander Spotlight decks, as well as our product opening decks. If you're looking for singles, we have a lot of singles listed in our store, which is also in the description below. Please like and subscribe and share. Comment what your favorite Mardu Commander deck is. And again, thanks for watching.